Everyone. Welcome to our Getting Started at Bentley live chat. My name is Caroline Horn. I am the Associate Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding. And for our session today, we are joined by a few of our campus partners, but we are also recording this session. So if you are watching the recording and you have any questions as you are watching this session, feel free to send over an email or complete our New Falcon question form. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to our panelists to introduce themselves, and starting with Kenny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kenny Allard. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mel Smith. I use she, her pronouns. I am one of the senior academic advisors for undergraduate academic advising.
Hi, everybody. My name's Nathan Cruz. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director for the Center for International Students and Scholars.
Morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whenever you may be viewing this. My name is Bobby Lynn Kekik, and I am the Executive Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding. I use the she series pronouns, and I am so grateful to be spending some time with you today. As Caroline mentioned, we're going to be talking a little bit about getting started here at Bentley. Whether you are a student, or you are a family member or supporter who is participating with us today or watching this recording, there is a lot of information that we hope you gain some good knowledge from this. And specifically for our family members and supporters, we really do view you as partners in this experience. We know that your students have been with you for much longer than they've been here with us at Bentley. And we hope and anticipate that they'll still continue to go to you with questions. So hopefully today will be incredibly informative for our students and supporters. And feel free to continue to reach out with any of those questions. So during our time together today, we will be talking really quickly on what this New Falcon experience is that students have been participating in. We're going to talk about advising at Bentley. We know that this is a really big component for our students that they'll be engaging in this week and then years to come. And then we'll be talking about our international student welcome and orientation, some next steps, and we'll open it up to a Q&A. So this New Falcon experience that I'm referencing, this is really the whole slate of onboarding for our new undergraduate students here at Bentley. This is delivered in a few different ways. So as we think about this experience for our students, we really want to think about preparation, support, and connection. So throughout the past few months, we've leaned a little bit more into the preparation phase of this. So really thinking about your New Falcon tasks, what's on that checklist, and making sure to get those tasks completed. We'll talk a little bit more about those in a moment, just to ensure that you've really completed all of those tasks before you get to campus. Bentley Beginnings, which is our online orientation program. This is something that's required for undergraduate students, but is optional for our families and supporters. So if you'd like to view that, you can create a guest account and take a look at that information. And then our academic orientation and course registration, which we will be participating in course registration this week, which is a really exciting moment. And you'll hear more about that in a little bit. As we think about support, we know that this is the first time that our students are going through this journey, and we want to ensure that we're here to provide as much support as we can. So some of that is on just-in-time resources, and some of that is actually working one-on-one with someone. So our quick guide, our New Falcon experience, and our New Falcon news are really great ways to be able to take in that information as you are able. You can access all of this information on our New Falcon Experience website. So if you just search it on our website, it pops right up, has a copy of that quick guide. It has all of the copies of our New Falcon news, which have gone out to students and families. But again, just a way to continue to support you through this experience. Our New Falcon question form is a way for students or families to submit questions to Bentley. And then we do some of the legwork to be able to get that question to the correct office to provide that support. So if you do find yourself still having some questions in these next few weeks, please feel free to reach out through that question form, and we'll make sure to get you connected. And then last but certainly not least, one of the most important pieces of this is connection. We know that when our students are feeling connected within our community, that they're feeling supported and prepared, that is going to lead to higher rates of success. And that connection is going to lead to belonging. And so that's something that we work really hard on, not just through the New Falcon experience, but you'll see that commitment continued throughout your time here at Bentley. As you think about the New Falcon experience, some of the ways that we've started to make those connections is through our work with Campus Groups, which is our online engagement platform. This is where you'll find your New Falcon experience app, the orientation schedule. But then you'll continue to use this platform to participate in different events on campus if you want to join any clubs or organizations. So it's a really helpful tool, not just for the onboarding and orientation experience, but also your time moving forward. Nestworking is an opportunity to connect with some of our New Falcon mentors and start to meet some of your fellow Falcons. And then orientation, which we'll spend a little bit more time talking about during this session. This is our program that happens physically on campus where you have this chance to start to meet different faculty and staff and really ensure that you're starting to get settled and prepared for that first day of classes. And then last but certainly not least, our at Welcome Falcons social media is a way that we've continued to stay connected with our students and families, provide updates, introduce you to staff, and some really valuable resources. That will continue even when you are on campus, so we highly encourage you to follow us if you haven't done so already.
All right. Throughout the fall semester, our new students have had a variety of tasks that they've needed to complete. And if they are missing anything from their checklist, please encourage your students to complete it as soon as possible. We do know that some students are still working on submitting their health information and immunization records. And if your student hasn't done this, please support them in this task as soon as possible. And this week, we do have a few additional deadlines that are needed to be completed for students, and those can be found on this checklist here. So submit photo for student ID, pay student bill, enroll in or waive the health insurance. Soon, students will receive their residential assignments. They will get to register for spring courses. They'll learn more about their self-guided learning courses, which are due next week, and they will participate in new student orientation next week. So a good amount of tasks that are due over the next couple of weeks. So really encouraging your students to make sure that those are completed before orientation and the first day of classes. And for our orientation goals, we ground our work that we do in our institutional core values in our department goals. And so these goals are community, values, academics, engagement, and traditions. And so for our community goals, we really want to welcome new Falcons to the university setting by providing intentional opportunities for interaction with the community. So we do that through our orientation welcome, through our small group sessions with our orientation leaders, and much more throughout the orientation program. For our values, we provide new students with a shared understanding of our institutional values and responsibilities. So students will be able to hear from different campus partners and different departments on what does it look like to be a Bentley Falcon. For academics, we introduce students to the academic community and resources. So the Friday programming during the orientation program is really built around the academic piece of the structure here at Bentley. And so they'll be able to get an academic overview. They'll be able to connect with academic advising. They'll be able to learn more about some academic resources that they can participate in throughout once the classes start. For engagement, engaging students in social, educational, and cultural programs, which enhance their well-being and experience. So that is really through our community meetups piece of the orientation program. We have ways that students can learn about getting involved on campus, whether that's in various clubs and organizations. And then traditions. So introducing new students to our university traditions and an understanding of their place in the Bentley story and its continuing history. So we do that. One tradition we do during orientation is all students will take pictures by our Falcon statue as a way to kick off their time at Bentley. And so some important dates for the New Falcon arrival and orientation. On Wednesday, January 14th, our new international students will arrive for check-in. Nathan will be sharing more information about what that will look like for our incoming international students. And then on Thursday, January 15th, our international student orientation programming begins in the morning. Our family programming for families and supporters will take place from 1 to 5 p.m. and our undergraduate student orientation program begins and runs through Sunday, January 18th.
Thanks, Caroline. Now we're going to talk about academic advising. So let's start with what academic advising actually is. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you will see a variety of different things. These are all subjects that academic advisors can help your students with. So whether it's just a quick check-in, if a student is having academic difficulty, or as they work their way through their time at Bentley, we'll do senior audit and graduation checks with them. So a couple of things about academic advising for you and your student to know. All students will have an assigned academic advisor during their entire time at Bentley. We really tried to keep students with the same advisor. However, due to staff changes, sometimes things can shuffle around, but your student will have an advisor their entire time at Bentley. Students can meet with any advisor though. So if your student is assigned to me, but my availability doesn't work for them, they can meet with any advisor in our office. We also encourage your students to create faculty and staff connections. So sometimes, yes, they can come to talk to me about something, but maybe they are connected to a faculty member and they feel more comfortable talking to their faculty member about what's going on. Starting in the spring semester, so after classes begin, students can meet with us in appointments during drop-in hours, or they can always email. They will get a specific email from their academic advisor, but they can always just email our general email, which is undergraduateadvising@bentley.edu. And just like orientation, we have an Instagram as well. It's Bentley Advising. We also will post reminders, updates, study tips as we get closer to finals. So things for students, families, and their support people to look at. So, undergraduate academic advising actually falls under the Office of Student Success. So, this little pinwheel shows you all the different areas that fall under OSS, as we call it for short. There's a variety of different things. It is a lot of information. So, I'm only going to touch upon a couple of things for now, and then your students will continue to learn more during their time at Bentley. So, a couple of things when it comes to academic support. So, we have academic skills assistants. So, this can include two different things, or three really. We have student success coaching. So, if your student is really struggling, if they need an additional support, we have professional staff who are success coaches, and they can help support your student on a little bit more regular basis than academic advisors are able to do. If your student is looking for academic accommodations, they would want to connect with Student Accessibility Services. The director's email, Stephanie Segalini, is posted here. You can also find the registration process on their website. It is very, very detailed. Finally, students will also see Geek Squad sessions as the semester goes on. These are put on by our peer tutors. They take place usually near midterms and then again at finals to help prep students for some of the exams in their classes. On campus, there's also learning labs, the peer tutoring program, which offers group and individual one-on-one tutoring. Students should be using their professor office hours if they have specific questions about material that's being talked about in class. OSS also sends a monthly Success Scoop newsletter, which is really just a reminder of important dates and deadlines, as well as maybe a reminder, study tip. And we usually relate ice cream somewhere in there because we love to connect to the scoop part. And then finally, new students will be taking FDS 100, which is the Falcon Discovery Seminar, in their first semester. Transfer students will be taking TS 222, which is Transfer Seminar, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on what those are. So, Transfer Seminar is a 6-week long seminar to help all of our transfer students adjust, connect, and learn important academic policy and procedures. We know that as a transfer student, right, they've gone somewhere else, they had a different experience at a different institution. So, we just want them to feel connected and adjusted to what they should expect while they're at Bentley. This seminar is facilitated by the student's individual academic advisor and a transfer student who is a facilitator of the class as well. It's an automatic touch point with the student's academic advisor. They see them weekly for 6 weeks. It's an introduction to the Bentley community, again, including resources, skills, and tools students need to succeed. And of course, it's also a chance to connect with other transfer students. Sometimes transferring to a new place, right? There's a lot of kind of that missing community that you're trying to find. So starting with other transfer students gives you that initial community. First year students will be in Falcon Discovery Seminar. So this class is a full semester long. It is for 3 academic credits, whereas the transfer seminar is just 6 weeks long and it is for no academic credit. So Falcon Discovery Seminar, there's 3 big things. So students are going to dive into big problems with Bentley faculty. So all these classes have different themes. So a student might be asking, like, what makes a good life in a warming world? Should life be a game? What defines us in an age of machines? Every class has a different big question that they're going to go over through the whole semester. It's to help start college strong with your peer leader. So in FDS 100, there's also a student who is a peer leader. They will help them kind of how do you stay healthy, manage your time, and choose a major. So another student connection to help your first year students through their first semester. And also find your community. So it's going to help start building relationships through orientation and the shared experiences on entrepreneurship, inclusion, and sustainability that students will have to participate in through FDS 100. So now let's get ready for course registration. Registration is not a 1-day process. It is not, oh, it's registration day. Let me open everything up for the first time and pick classes. We should be working through or have already worked through some of these steps already. One note is that students should only be using their official Bentley Falcon email. We have a lot of students who still like to use their Gmails or other personal emails. All communication from our office and really Bentley at this point will be going to Bentley students' Falcon email. So please make sure that your student is checking that email and regularly reading through all the emails that they get. So some things that students should have already completed or should be completing by tomorrow is completing the critical reading and writing placement essay, as well as the Alex math placement, and send all prior credit, whether that is AP, IB, or previous transfer credit, to the admission office as soon as possible. Students should complete the checklist on new student advising and registration information webpage. We should start having conversations, if you haven't already, about flexibility, as students may not get their first choice of professors and or class times. So having backups as they're building their schedule will make registration much easier for them. They should practice using Schedule Planner tool and create several schedule options. We do registration the same way every semester. So them taking some time to learn the material now will also help them in future registrations during their time at Bentley. Tomorrow, we will be having registration advising via Zoom so students can come for any questions or just advice that they have. So I talked about this new student advising and registration information site. If you haven't seen it, it's on our website. So through the Office of Student Success, undergraduate academic advising, new students, you will see these 3 options. So first years, transfer students, or if you are a family member or a support person, we also have some resources available for you on this website as well. There are multiple videos, worksheets, and resources to help students prepare for registration. So, what to expect on registration day? Registration this year is Thursday, January 8th. So, 2 days from now. So a couple of things and reminders. You want to make sure before 10 a.m., because that's when registration opens, you want to make sure that the internet connection is good, your student has saved schedules, and that they might have some support documents open or the website open in case they're struggling. They can jump right there and follow kind of a how-to guide. During registration, students should only use one browser so that the registration software doesn't get confused with what they're doing. They should have backup options like we talked about. And if they are struggling during registration, we will have Zoom registration support available as well. Registration support will end at 3, and registration is open for 24 hours. Okay, so what's next? Tomorrow, registration advising via Zoom. The Zoom information is on that new student advising and registration site. We will be offering those Zoom sessions from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Students should not be joining that Zoom until they have reviewed all of the information on our website. So making sure that your student has reviewed all of that. Then if they still have questions, if they're confused, they just want to clarify something, they can join our Zoom tomorrow. Then we will also have, again, that registration support on Thursday from those same times. So 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time for registration day. After registration, advisors will actually individually review each student's schedule and make sure that they are in the classes that they should be for their first semester to ensure success moving forward. If we determine that a schedule is fine, there's no concerns or no issues, students will not hear from us. If advisors determine that there is a concern with the student schedule or if there is an issue, like they are missing a class, advisors will contact students via their Falcon email. And then as we get closer to the start of the semester, Caroline mentioned this, that the Friday of orientation is kind of the academics day. So that is where students will see us again. So we will have an academic overview presentation on that Friday, as well as schedule assistance. So registration will reopen because registration will close after that 24-hour window. Students won't be able to make any changes to their schedule until they arrive to campus for orientation. January 26th is the deadline to add classes or swap classes for the spring semester. We will keep reminding students as it gets closer as well. During the semester, we have drop-in advising from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekdays in our office in Jennison 336. We extend hours, so we do 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the first week of classes for those drop-in hours. And then, as I mentioned earlier, all students will receive a welcome email from their individual academic advisor. So that's how they can receive their academic advisor's email address and also gather some other helpful tips and reminders for a great start to the semester. So, to conclude, recommendations in the first year and really the first semester at Bentley, we want students to connect with advising, connect with their professors, and connect with student leaders and staff on campus. We want students to adjust to college academics. So, again, if they're a transfer student, adjusting to life at Bentley. If they're a first year student, just adjusting to college life in general. Explore academic opportunities. Sometimes students come to Bentley thinking that they want to major in this specific major, but by actually taking some other classes, their interests and goals might change. So giving themselves the space to kind of look at those different opportunities. And of course, to always ask questions and seek help when they need it.
All right, and now I will talk about quickly our international student welcome and orientation. So, a little bit about myself and our office. Our office mainly focuses on providing immigration support and advice to students on F and J1 visas, but we do a lot more than that. We also are involved in trying to connect students, international students, be they perhaps you're a US citizen, but you lived some time abroad, or you are in a different visa status than the typical international student. We do cultural programming throughout the year to celebrate the different cultures of our international students and help them connect with each other. So, not just the immigration advice, but the cultural side of the international student experience too. So open to a lot of groups. So as mentioned before, international students, if you are on an F or J1 visa, we do want you to come to campus a little early to talk about the specific rules and regulations you will have to follow while in the United States. So Wednesday, January 14th, move-in will happen for international students. After you've settled in your room, we'll have a welcome pizza party just to meet your fellow international students and exchange visitors. Then Thursday morning, while the most of the students are moving in, the exchange students and international students will have a welcome breakfast together and then have an information session where we will go over all of the immigration rules that you will have to follow during your time at Bentley and in the United States in general. After going over the immigration rules, we will talk about U.S. classroom culture and academic success. Some of you may have already studied at other U.S. schools, but for some students, the style and way in which U.S. colleges and Bentley specifically function may be different from what you're accustomed to. So we want to go over that a little bit to help make you feel more comfortable. We'll also talk about cultural adjustment and culture shock, as it may be more commonly known, is a very common thing to feel when coming to a new place, new campus, new country. So we'll try to talk about that too to make you feel more comfortable. After that, we'll have lunch, and then you will join the larger orientation group.
All right. And so for next steps, one piece of your checklist is completing our self-guided learning courses. So these courses, every student is required to complete before beginning their time at Bentley. So these four topics are alcohol EDU for college, sexual assault prevention for undergraduates, skills for diverse communities, and hazing prevention for students. And these courses provide a common understanding of community rights and responsibilities, our core values, the knowledge from these courses, and the student handbook form the basis for all members of the community to have an equitable and fair living and learning environment at Bentley. You can find more information about these courses in your Bentley email. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can help you to complete these courses.
Hello again, everyone. So prior to folks moving onto campus or returning to campus on Wednesday, January 14th, we're hosting an optional virtual meetup for new students via Zoom. So it's a chance for students to meet their orientation leaders and to also connect with other incoming students as well. And it's a place for folks to ask questions before arriving to campus. While not a requirement, students often say that this session is really helpful to reduce any type of anxiety that students are facing. And it also makes move-in feel less overwhelming by being able to meet the folks in your group beforehand. And then just a little bit more about new student orientation that runs from January 15th to January 18th. Our orientation program is designed to help students really connect to the Bentley community, which includes new and returning students, staff, and faculty. Throughout the week, there will be some keynote speakers engaging in different types of workshops. Folks will partake in small group discussions, and then really diving into social and wellness events, all aimed to help students build upon their Bentley network and their experience.
Well, thanks, Kenny. So I'm just going to talk briefly about what some of the opportunities for our family members and supporters will look like on that Thursday. We recognize that not all family members are going to be able to join their student on that Wednesday or that Thursday. So please know that there will be other opportunities to join with us virtually through our post-orientation workshop that will feature our Vice President for Student Affairs. Then we'll also hear from folks from academic advising and then some other student support resources. So please know that that is also available for our family members and supporters. And then we will continue these live chat sessions throughout the spring semester to continue to support you so that you can be that great ambassador to your student as they are learning the Bentley community. But if you are able to join us on the Thursday, here's a quick snapshot of what you can look forward to. So as students are arriving and checking in on campus, whether they are moving into their residence hall space on that Thursday or participating in the international student programming or arriving as a commuter student, we will have a space dedicated to our family members called the Falcon Family Hub. We'll have some different staff there that can help to answer questions, some light refreshments, opportunity for you to just kind of connect with some other folks. We then invite you to a community lunch in our main dining hall. Then we'll have an orientation welcome. This will be with both students and family members. You'll get to hear from our Vice President for Student Affairs, one of our associate deans, and then from there we'll split off. So family members will have some programming and students will have some of their own dedicated programming where they'll get to meet their orientation groups for the first time. For our family members, you're going to learn a little bit more around our philosophy on well-being at Bentley and the support that exists for our students. We'll have some coffee because some good caffeine will help us be sustained throughout the day. And then you'll have access to some of our current students to ask some questions from their perspective of what they're experiencing here at Bentley. After that, you'll join back up with your student at our vendor fair. This will be a time to connect with different offices across campus, some external vendors if your students need to set up a local bank account or they're looking for a phone plan or any of the sorts. You'll be able to access that. During that time frame, we'll also have our community immunization clinic. And so if your student is missing any of the required immunizations, this will be an opportunity for them to access that right on campus. Following that, or in addition to that time frame, we'll also have a welcome reception. So again, this is for students and families to interact with and meet other faculty and staff during that time block. And we will have our campus store open during this time. So if you're looking for any Bentley items or want to connect with the staff there on options for purchasing or renting books, that will be available for you as well. As we think moving forward from there, as I mentioned, we will continue to be here with you and continue connecting so that you can help be good ambassadors to this information for our students. So we'll have a few Falcon Live chats that will continue. So highly encourage you to join us for those sessions. And if you're unable to join us live, we will continue to record them and post them up for you. And then a few other pieces we wanted to really highlight is there is a monthly newsletter that you'll begin receiving called the Bentley Brief. And this is from our team in alumni and family engagement. And this will highlight some different opportunities, ways for you to stay connected with the Bentley community, and then also some tips for our new family members. So we'll continue to post some different bits of information in there. So highly encourage you to take a look at that. There's also some different opportunities with our alumni and family engagement offices. They have different programs that they run, book clubs, here on campus, virtually, and then in some of the local communities as well. Our Falcon Weekend is an annual event that happens every fall where we bring in family, alumni, current students, and community members to really celebrate what it is to be a Bentley Falcon. So again, if you find yourself being able to join us, we highly encourage you to join us in that community event. And then if you are in the local area, or if something's happening in your local community, highly encourage you to join an athletic event. It's such a fun, spirited way to connect with our Bentley community. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back to Caroline to just open it up for any questions and answers that we may be able to give, and then we'll wrap it up and get you on your way.
Thank you. So as we are waiting for some questions to be submitted in the Q&A, if we can have our panelists share one piece of advice for our students beginning in January, that would be great. And then we'll see what questions come in.
I can start. Mel definitely echoed this earlier, but just really get acclimated to campus, to Bentley, and the experience, and just really get to know your resources and the different clubs and take it easy. I think oftentimes, which is so natural, you just want to jump in and get so involved, but there's so much learning to be had. So get an understanding for what you want to get involved in as well. And you'll have like a great experience if you do that. We often, every semester, will have a student involvement fair. So don't be afraid to check that out as well to see what might pique your interest.
Thanks, Kenny.
I can go. Um, I would say like t two things. If you don't know something or you don't know the answer to something, just ask. Bentley is a really great place where if you ask someone and they don't maybe know the answer, they're gonna point you to someone else who can probably give you the answer. And then to like Kenny's point, taking time to just adjust, but also meet new people. So maybe that is, setting a goal for yourself of like, let me have two conversations a week with someone new in a class, or while you're standing in line for food at La Cava or something. I promise people are very, very nice here. So that will just help you kind of meet new people, and you might become friends with someone that you never thought you would.
Thank you. I think one piece of advice that I have is making sure that you stay connected with your orientation leader, connect with your RA if you're living on campus. Your FDS peer leader is a great resource. All of these student leaders are excited and want to help our new students and be connected with them post the time that they get to work with them. So not being afraid to stay connected with those student leaders throughout your time at Bentley is a really great opportunity for our new students.
I would add for our family members, I think this is a time where your students are learning a lot of things. They're experiencing things maybe for the first time. They might be living away from home for the first time. So it's a lot of things at once, but we have such a dedicated support structure here at Bentley. And we have not only those student leaders, but we have professional staff that will be checking in and supporting students as well. So, I think decide what that communication plan looks like for you and your student, how often you might be communicating and checking back in with them, but do know that we have some of those support structures already in place. here on campus as well. But don't hesitate to reach out. If there's something that's top of mind for you, or if there's something that you're thinking about or worried about, like don't hesitate to reach out to the team, and happy to help to support you, give you some thoughts or advice or ways to help to direct your student, or we can reach out to your student directly. But I think also encouraging them to really take ownership of their experience, and maximizing what that could look like, and really this cool learning opportunity for them to start to be more independent and really spread their wings.
All right. We know that we took a lot of time to share a lot of information with you all. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to email us, fill out that new Falcon question form. We appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit more about Bentley and getting your students started here. We look forward to meeting you next week and seeing you around campus. Have a great day.